I offer my most loving pranams at the divine lotus feet of our beloved Bhagwan, Shri Satya Sai Baba. My dear brothers and sisters from Russia, Om Shri Sai Ram. It's great to be interacting with you all, and I thank the organizers and all of you listening today for this opportunity. Spasiba. The amount of effort that goes in organizing events like this is enormous. And first of all, my heartiest congratulations to the organizing team for putting together such an event, for sacrificing their time and resources to make sure that Swami's love spreads, Swami's love continues to flow through us to many more in the community, from one person to another, from one generation to another, from one village to another village, between countries, between families, between continents, and throughout the universe. What amazes me about Swami is the simplicity of his teachings. Look at the words, love all, serve all. 4 words, very small words in fact, but so powerful, right? Loving everyone, serving everyone. It's the simplest. My 5-year-old son knows that, right? And that's how simple Swami makes it. And these 4 words are applicable not only to my 5-year-old, it's applicable to me, it's applicable to families, it's applicable to corporations, it's applicable to leaders, it's applicable to anyone in the community. So it's such beautiful words. The other simple quote of Swami, a message of Swami is, help ever, hurt never. Again, 4 words, very simple, 4-letter words, 5-letter words, but such simple message that you can apply in any facet of your life. Incredible, right? Like, these are messages that sit in Upanishads and Puranas. These are messages that sit in history, in mythology. And what Bhagwan has done is broken it down into simple terms so that people like us, who are now so caught up in the world, are able to dedicate 2 or 3 minutes and understand this. And when something happens, we're able to relate those learnings to the experiences that are in front of us. And the other one, which I know all of you are very familiar with, and I know a lot of you are very engaged in the service, this Narayana Seva program. So I hear of that, I've seen some photos of it. And the quote that goes with that is, service to man is service to God. Again, such beautiful words, right? 2 things that come out of it, that anyone I'm helping actually is me helping God. But also it reminds us that we ourselves are God. So it is, if the other man is God, the other person is God, then we ourselves are God. And this is such a reminder, because that's something that we forget. We sometimes forget the potential that exists in us. And Bhagwan so nicely reminds us that. And I can go on talking about these teachings, but the simplicity amazes me, and how these simple messages has spread to many different countries, right? So I was born in the Fiji Islands, which is so far away from Prasanthi Nilayam, so far away from India, but Swami's message and love flowed there. I was about, I think, 18 when I first got to see Swami, but I've been praying and I knew of Swami right since my birth. So it's amazing how these simple messages, simple teachings flow through the different countries. And you can look at your own experiences when you first came to hear of Swami. And what also amazes me, the stuff that Swami talked about, the things that Swami talked about in 1950s about the mind and about sealing on desires is so relevant today. Swami has been talking about meditation since 1950s, and it's a big topic right now on how we should control our mind and how mind is the cause of so many problems in the world, right? But Swami mentioned this in 1950s. I don't think in 1950s they had so much to do with the mind that it has to do now, right? I mean, the other thing that Swami mentioned is technology versus technology. I'm pretty sure when Swami was talking about technology, handheld devices, phones, and all these gadgets that we're familiar with was not as popular. So Swami anticipated it, and he mentioned technology and technology back when, and now it makes sense. Now we are the generation. It's in our time when we are challenged with how much technology we incorporate in our lives. So it appears that what Swami had done was to plant these seeds, so we become aware of these terms. Those terms mature in our minds, mature in our own experiences, so that when the world is now sort of booming with technology and booming with all these social pressures, etc., we are well equipped. These seeds have grown enough inside of us to be able to handle those challenges. One other thing that amazes me of Swami is that not only did he give us the simple teachings, not only did he equip us with all the resources to be able to tackle the challenges that the society faces today, but he also gifted us an organization that I'm very proud to be part of, and I know many of you are proud to be part of. Swami is the only avatar that left behind an organization he created. He created it not for himself, he created it for us. So I count it as my blessing, I count it as my good fortune, I count it as my blessing that I was even born at a time when there is an organization, because had I been born 100 years earlier, this might not have been the case, right? So it is really a privilege, a blessing to be born at a time when there is an organization. But you might wonder, why did Swami create an organization? In creating the organization, Swami mentioned one thing so selflessly, right? He says the organization's purpose is for us, not for him, for us to realize our own inherent divinity. And that's so powerful, because I can imagine, like, if I am on my own, there are days when I might not be motivated to think of Swami or to do things, right? The spiritual path is not an easy one. Back in the day, people were able to go to the forest and do tapas and meditate and spend many years doing it. But in today's world, it's not something that's easy. So here we have an organization where, through the support of each other, we are able to learn, grow, and progress, motivate each other, inspire each other, share each of our transformative experiences, the miracles we see in our life. And this just keeps the love in the organization flowing. This journey is much more beautiful because we're part of an organization and we have the support of each other. Swami was smart, right? But in creating the organization, you'll say. But he also created some guidelines, and sometimes we take the guidelines the wrong way. But for something to function, something to grow, there always needs to be a fence, right? If we look at a small plant, if it's not surrounded by fences, it's not surrounded by sticks that protect its growth, it may not survive storms, it may not survive the whatever nature brings to it. So similarly with the organization, there's certain guidelines and rules that have been established. As much as they make things a bit difficult for some of us, they're there for a purpose, and it's guidelines that have been given by Bhagavan. There's guidelines around segregation, there's guidelines around what you can eat, there's guidelines about how the programs are going to be, and these are all in a holistic sense a gift from Swami to us. Brothers and sisters, in 2020, in November 2020, during Swami's birthday, there was an announcement done that we will be forming in a group called the Sri Satya Sai Global Council. It's the coming together of all the institutions created under Swami's name. We've got hospitals, we've got the education institutes, we've got the organization in India, but we've got organizations outside of India. So in doing so, we've created the Sri Satya Sai Global Council. It consists of many countries, over 1,300 centers from around the world. And the purpose of the Sri Satya Sai Global Council is not only to bring people together, that's one part of it, but to give them a direct connection to Prashanti Nilayam. Now, for those of you who don't know, Prashanti Nilayam is the ashram that Swami created. It's based in Puttaparthi, the village where Swami was born. Prashanti Nilayam is the place Swami chose to make the center of his mission, and many of us regard it as the spiritual headquarters of the world. In the precincts of Prashanti Nilayam, we have the Sai Kulwant Hall where we get darshans. We've got the famous Western Canteen, we've got book centers, but around that we have the institutes of higher learning. A little bit further, we have the super specialty hospital, we have the airport, and many other projects that Swami had initiated for our own comfort, so that when we come and visit his holy abode, we're able to enjoy the precincts, enjoy Swami's love, see all the places that Swami had created in comfort. Why do you think Bhagwan left that for us? Why did he create all these accommodation blocks, made so much effort to create an ashram, create this shelter where we get darshans? He didn't create it for himself. He created it for us. So there is this beautiful ashram which I invite you all to come and visit. But it gives me a sound reason to say that Bhagwan wanted us, beyond his life, for us to be connected to this holy abode. The Sai mission is entering a new era. In 2025, we will be celebrating and commemorating Bhagwan's 100th year of advent, 100th birthday, which also means that the Sai mission will be moving in from the first 100 years into the next 100 years. And how fortunate are we, right? Like, we will be the generation, and with Bhagwan's blessings, we will be taking this mission and taking into the next 100 years. It's a momentous thing. It's something that I don't know, gives me goosebumps when I think about it. And there's massive programs being planned. There's a lot of seva activities being planned, and I'm in fact heading off to Prashanti tomorrow for meetings with all the different leaders. And one of the things we're discussing with all the country leaders and all the various leaders that are coming from different countries, including India, is to how we will commemorate this big event. And in doing so, we would like representatives from all the countries to be involved, for programs in all the countries to tie back to a big program that we will offer for Swami. It's like garland, right? Like the different flowers come together, and we'll offer this massive garland of love to Bhagwan to celebrate his 100th year of advent, but also as gratitude for all the beautiful experiences, for the guidance, and for all the lovely support that he gives us on a daily basis, and for the simplest things, for our breath, for our families, for our loved ones, for our jobs, for good health, etc. So it would be really nice, and I'm hoping and praying that Russia will play a big part in it. I know that from listening to past stories and past experiences, Bhagwan had a special place for Russian devotees, and I would really be delighted if Russia could be involved in this. So that's something that we can discuss. At a time when we should be connecting with Prashanti, at a time when we should be celebrating his love as one, I don't think so any one of us wants to distance ourselves from Prashanti, right? So if anyone is thinking that, Swami wants us to be doing this, Swami wants us to be doing this, I would like you to spare a thought about your own experiences. And this is an experience that came to me many years ago. I was I haven't been one that would go to Prashanti every year, and then in 2007 my first son was born, and I think he was about 3 months old, and I came back from office one day, and as I carry him, I felt so much of joy in my heart just to see him, right? He's a few months old, so for him it was nothing. He felt nothing seeing me at that point in time, right? Like he didn't show any emotion. But for me, all of a sudden, I felt so happy. I'd forgotten how tired I was, how my day was. Nothing mattered in the world at that point in time. In a split second, I got a thought. And it was a very powerful thought that rushed through me. And that was that, I sometimes think about going to Parthi, and I'm thinking that, no, I should not go to Parthi. I should focus on my sadhana. I should do my own service. But the thought was, if Swami is really my mother and Swami is really my father, how happy would he be to see me in Prashanti? That thought was really powerful, to say, I've been so far, at that time I was about 28, 29, that I've so far been so selfish in thinking just about me going to Prashanti, and now I'm able to see Swami's photo, I'm able to pray for him, I'm able to do his work. It's not so important for me to go to Prashanti. But the moment I felt joy seeing my son, it was like a reminder to me to say, Shivendra, don't be selfish. your mother, your father, who guides you every day, who blesses you every day, would like to see you. And that year I planned and resolved to go to Prashanti. We went as a family after, and thereafter, as when time and opportunity and Swami permits, I try and go visit Prashanti, knowing that my divine mother and father is looking to see me. So brothers and sisters, this is the time to come together. This is, as we lead up to the 100th year celebrations, this is the time for us to come together as a global Sai family, for us to learn from each other and grow together, for us to unite and serve, for us to now talk about all the transformative experiences we've got, but to share it with others, because the world right now is seeking this. I have so many conversations with people who don't know Swami, but the moment we talk about Swami's love, they all take a breath and listen to it, because right now in the world, 10, 15 years ago, it probably did not matter. But right now, everyone is thinking of one or two short and simple things to calm their mind, for them to find a solution to the various different problems and challenges that exist. Many are seeking for answers. The world is much more aware. And this is a time for us to share our experiences and share Swami's love. It's a service in some form or another, one form or another, right? The Sri Satya Sai Global Council, which is what I introduced initially, our focus is not so much on leadership roles. We don't have a big structure on top. There's not too many people that we've got leading the countries, because our focus is on communities and centers. So as leaders, we all have been encouraged, empowered, and tasked with working in the centers. Centers are based in villages and communities, and the intention is to strengthen that, because that is where Swami's messages will spread. There's no point in having too much work done at the headquarters, right? Because it's the grassroots that make up the organization. And I look at all of you, that's the community. That's what makes the organization. So our intention is to support you all as much as possible, so that Swami's message spreads through you into the community. And that's how Swami has spread his message all the while, right? Swami hasn't visited so many countries. He hasn't been touring and giving discourses in various countries. He's been very much connected to India, and he traveled to Africa many years ago, and that was it. So I think Swami, if I look at the mission, he has given us devotees, particularly those of us outside India, and particularly for those of you from not English-speaking countries, I think there's a big role that we have been given to take this message, and I think that's a God-given opportunity from the way I see it. So it is our intention to share Swami's love at the grassroots, through villages, in communities, etc. And that is something that makes us very well connected to the Sai festival you're doing. When I first heard of it, I was really excited, and I know that this is something that this conversation here, if it inspires one of you, it will inspire 5 more, and the 5 more will inspire 25 more, right? And this is how my experience in Swami has been, and there have been many before me who have inspired me as well. So I know that this love travels. It travels lightning fast. It is very powerful, and it has the ability to transform lives and transform the world. Now there is a myth that the Global Council and the ashram is wanting to collect money, and that's why they're forming these groups in different countries, and they're trying to get people together. Dear brothers and sisters, let me assure you that money does not come in any of the conversation. The way the ashram runs has got nothing to do with the Global Council. I've been part of Global Council since its inception, and not once have we gone around and asked for funds for the ashram. The ashram Swami has taken care of. Swami has his own way of looking after it. So if you hear that the ashram is wanting to collect donations or is wanting to grab hold of assets, that's not true. The only thing the ashram, and I have conversations with them every week, the only thing that they're talking about is how can we bring Swami's love to the communities, how can we spread Swami's love, and how can we make a difference in the community to the multiple service projects. So if you do have funds, we encourage you to use those funds for the seva projects in your countries and communities. It's nothing to do with the ashram, and wherever the ashram can help, they're more than happy to help with that. And on the topic of help, there is this immense pool of resources that's available in the ashram that Swami has created through the Sri Sathya Sai Media Center, which was formerly the radio side. They're creating a lot of content. They're creating and sharing the Vahinis, various discourses of Bhagavan, and they've created some like a digital museum as well recently, so that people are able to experience Swami. There's many in our community who have never seen Swami walk. They've never seen Swami physically. So now they've taken on the responsibility and this immense privilege of bringing Swami to people. So it's something that I see day in, day out, the difference it is making. And this only happens when we come together, right? It's not something that one person in the corner can do. We require various different skills, like even to put this festival together, for the talks and for the different things that have come together. It's not one person that can do this, right? It takes everyone. And why it takes everyone? Because that's how Swami wills it. Not a blade of grass moves without his will. So for any one of you who is involved in putting together the Sai festival, Swami wanted you to be there. And in doing the part of the Sri Sathya Sai Global Council, it does not happen by one person. It happens when people come together. And I encourage you all to become part of it, to join this family, come together, and I'm more than happy to have a conversation later on to discuss how we can take Swami's love, Swami's teachings in Russia and spread it to as many people as possible. There is something that I can't do, but I'm pretty sure that you all, by being in the Sai Festival, by organizing the festival, you have the determination, commitment, passion, and the blessings. I'm confident about that to do that. So I'd like to discuss that at some point in time. From my side, I'm committed to working with you all to organize more satsangs, interaction programs, Veda chanting sessions, Q&A on spiritual topics. Let's do more of this, right? Like there is Brother Sai Surendranath, you'll hear him speak. So much of love he brings in his talks, and so nicely, so very, very simply he presents Swami's message. He's done talks in many different countries, inspired so many people around the world. So he's just one example. There's many more like him, and every time you hear them, even if it's the same talk we listen to again, it inspires and lights this big diya, big light inside our hearts. So let's do more of those, and more than happy to work with you to bring Prashanti to Russia. I think through these programs and satsangs, Prashanti Nilayam is there for the whole world, and I think we can do a lot more to bring Prashanti Nilayam to Russia. But I will also encourage you, as we come to the centenary celebrations, as we herald and take Swami's mission the first 100 years into the second 100 years, it would be good for Russia to also come to Prashanti Nilayam and play a big part in these celebrations that we are going to be having. So Prashanti in Russia and Russia in Prashanti, that will be so beautiful. In fact, I'll take this on as a personal sadhana from my side, that we will ensure and work that as much of Swami's teachings that is available, we will try and have it made available for Russian-speaking devotees, so that they can equally benefit from what Swami has left behind for us, because these messages are useful for all of us. And I know that a lot of the speeches are in Telugu, in languages that are Indian, and then some of it gets translated into English, which the Sri Sathya Sai Media Center does quite well. But we will make sure that we make them available in the Russian language, in a language that you understand, be it discourses, be it books, etc. And I'll take that as a personal sadhana. Of course, I'll need to work with you guys to do that, but that's something that we will undertake actively on top of organizing more interactions and satsangs, so that you can also first-hand experience Swami's love, not from somewhere else, but directly from those who are working and leading the Sai mission from Prashanti Nilayam. I'm pretty sure you will all be excited, because every time I hear of a speaker from Prashanti Nilayam, I'm excited. I'll do everything in the world to go and listen to that. So I'm pretty sure that you will be excited. There's some amazing bhajan singers who when they sing, it takes you to a different plane, right? So we'll bring these bhajan singers so you can experience them firsthand as well. Dear brothers and sisters, I know you have an exciting festival, and I do hope that we can all work together for, of course, the 100th birthday celebrations, but beyond that. But in doing so, we can all come together, just like the garland I talked about, the different flowers which come together. And when they all come together, the garland becomes beautiful, right? So I'm pretty sure that we can do that as gratitude for Bhagwan for all that he has done for us. So my dear brothers and sisters, once again, I thank you for this opportunity. To the organizing committee, you've done an amazing job. I know the hard work, I know the messages that you've been sending me at different times of the night. I hope you can, at the end of this, take some time to rest and reflect. But it's been an immense pleasure to be part of this. I count it as a blessing. And I do pray sincerely from my heart that Bhagwan blesses you abundantly, and he showers his love and grace to all of you who are participating in this festival, to your loved ones, to your families, and to your communities. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Om Shri Sai Ram. I love you all very much, and I'll make an attempt once again. Spasiba. Om Sai Ram.